policy on education, which at the moment is based purely on ideology with no evidence, and it is not in the interest of our children or the country. So what we want people to do is obviously talk to each other, see the stalls, sign petitions, and hopefully go away a bit fired up to do more, join campaign groups. There's Let Kids Be Kids, there's a number of campaign groups we can set up for parents, and support those, see your MPs, whatever you feel you can do to keep the pressure up, because it is pressure that changes this government, as has been shown time and time again in the last year. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to invite our first speaker up, who is Ruth. I've forgotten Ruth's surname. Ruth Anonymous, who is a parent, who has been a big part, or a part of the Let Our Kids Be Kids campaign. So here you are.
Thank you, Toby. Thanks to the teachers for organising today and inviting us along. I hope as well that the parents and teachers can join forces to make positive change. So my name's Ruth, and I've got two children, one in year 2 and one in year 6. And the strike on the 3rd of May was a demonstration of the parents and the children trying to show how unhappy we are with the education system, and how we just want the teachers to be able to teach and assess the way we know that they can and they would love to do. 18 months ago, when the government raised the expected attainment by 2 levels for the children, I was still a parent governor, and that's when I realised how helpless the teachers actually were under this regime. My year 1 at the time child, who could barely form his letters, was expected to write out the numbers from 1 to 20 in words, and now the level of the year 6 grammar that's being taught and tested is apparently not even necessary for to do a degree in a foreign language. That's my friend told me that, who's got a BA in linguistics. So yeah, it's just really upsetting to see some of the papers that the year 2s are practicing on. When you look at them, it looks like they're just trying to catch the children out and not build on their strengths and their confidence. So for me, when Let Our Kids Be Kids nationwide campaign started, it was set up by parents to support teachers to boycott SATs. Many of us just jumped at the chance to show how we were feeling, and we hope the strike would be a direct action that might get noticed and start alarm bells ringing somewhere in authority. So my children also go to school to learn about the world and society, about their friendships, their relationships, how to manage their emotions and their feelings one-to-one and in groups. And this personal, social and emotional development is definitely being put on the back burner whilst the schools are focusing on attainment levels. Mine, like most of the children, really want to make their teachers happy and proud of them, and they're looking for praise from them. And school seems to be becoming a constant reward chart for behaviour that conforms to being quiet, good, listening, sitting still, spelling, high attendance, and then using the techniques needed in SATs. And maybe that's the only way the teachers can cope with the pressures that are put on them. But the children's questioning minds and decision-making skills and creativity and individuality and their debating skills are not being nurtured and valued, as far as I can tell. It's all about doing things correctly and not about the content and the reasoning behind the subjects. I know I'm preaching to the converted here. So when a child has a sense of failure and not being able to get their teacher's praise, letting them down, it's not a healthy space for them to be in, and mentally, or it's not a good thing for them to bring home to us either. In year 2, they may not be able to articulate this, but some children are coming home more restless, pent up, or bored, and others have lost all their confidence to try anything. But in Y6, my eldest told me that she had to do well for her teacher because it was so important to her. And basically the responsibility was on her shoulders to alleviate the teacher's stress, which is just not fair. And I think it's exactly what's happening in year 2 as well, but they're not conscious of it, the little ones. So the tests are draining the teacher's energy, and they do, and they've not got anything left to put into the creative areas of the curriculum that we value so much, that give our children a sense of achievement, confidence and enjoyment. So anyway, I gave my children the choice of whether they wanted to strike on May the 3rd, and there was no doubt in their minds that they wanted to strike against too much literacy, too much numeracy and revision. So yeah, that's exactly what they wanted to do. So their first lesson was standing up for themselves and being counted for something they believed in. So we had an alternative education day over in Meersbrook Park, where we were being creative, painting, singing, playing parachute games, chasing, playing ball games, having a picnic. Most of it was all child-led. We had the sound system on the back of a bike, and there was mainly people from Carfield. There was also people from Meersbrook Bank, Mundella, Bradway, but a lot of people did go off and do their own things that day. The count was about 90 participants, 50 children and 40 adults that signed into our event, and there was at least twice as many over in Endcliffe Park, and that's and over in Endcliffe Park, it's the Hunters Bar School that started it off. They've got a SATS Action Sheffield Facebook page. If any of you want to join it, that's where all the parents are communicating via. Let Our Kids Be Kids had 8,000 children striking listed on their count, and over 5,000 copies of the letter was downloaded for parents who were in full support but couldn't take their children out of school that day. So it made the national headlines, and from our point of view, it was a massive show of support for a move away from the testing regime. So we don't understand why the Department for Education are choosing not to act, despite so much concern and evidence that points towards testing affecting children's mental health. So both the teachers and their head teachers have stated a complete review of primary assessment is required, which we now need them to act on, and the change to happen with our full support.